Hi to everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Juan Jose, and yeah, this is my first YouTube video tutorial on how to do something. So yeah, don't be too harsh on my English level or pronunciation, because yeah, I'm trying my best, and at the end I'm trying to help you, so don't fuck me up. Yeah, well, let's see, the topic of this video, as you have found out because you are searching for it, is how to set up a H2 database on the Quarkus framework. The main usage of this kind of database is for prototyping your entire application, all of your entities, tables, database, without having to take into account the SQL specification. I mean, if you are in the start of a project and you don't really know which engine you will use, just to start with a H2 will be the great, because MariaDB has a different engine than MySQL and than Postgre. So yeah, that's the main reason that we use this H2 approach. Okay, let's start from the beginning. First of all, we do something crazy. We go to Google and search for Quarkus, and then jump straight to the Start Coding tab. And this tab, we will choose our dependencies for the project. For JAX-RS, we will choose it for just creating a simple REST endpoint which we can exploit. The Hibernate validator is for expressing and validating the application constraints or the annotations. We will use Hibernate ORM, as it will be our persistent layer to relational databases, and the GWBC driver for H2, just for having the driver and dependencies of H2. And lastly, we will use the Agral extension that I will explain in detail right now. Okay, so now that we have downloaded our package application, let's open it up. For opening up and for this tutorial, I will use IntelliJ Integrated Development Environment, or IDE. I mean, this could be done in whichever IDE that you want or you have. So yeah, we open it up and let's wait for it to index everything. Maybe this may take you some minutes on the first fresh load start, so yeah, be patient. Okay, now that everything is indexed, we see that Quarkus has created all of these files for us now, and our main file that we will be checking out is this, the application properties. Okay, so now we build the project, just to check that the REST point is working. Okay, let's wait. We copy the path, click on the URL and see that it's working. Now let's search for the H2 Quarkus documentation. We will do this mainly just to see what are the properties that we need to add to our application properties file. Now that we have found it, let's click straight to the link, and yeah, we are getting on the Quarkus guide for the Hibernate ORM. We will copy paste this directly on our application properties, and also enable the Quarkus Hibernate SQL log, just to check that everything is working. The SQL creates, the Hibernate creates the tables and the entities and everything. Let's build the project one more time to check if something happens on the H2 side. Yeah, we mainly see that nothing happens, and that's why, because yeah, we have not created any entity. So yeah, we will create it now, just to put you in a better programming way. I would like to approach this to have all of my controllers on the API package and all of my entities on the domain package. So yeah, we create the entity. We create it with a just and simple as to be the long ID, private ID. And for the entity creation, we need to annotate it as an ID. Yeah, generate the getter and setters. Okay, and if we don't specify any entity class, then the Hibernate won't load up and won't do nothing with the application properties. So now that we have specified it, let's wait and see if the Hibernate creates the table. And yeah, we see here the table is created. Yeah, it's working. We see the log here. So now what we can do is just to create a simple import SQL to insert into that table also a stupid value for the ID. We will run the project now, and yeah, we see here that the table is dropped, the table is created, and the insert is working. Now that we have the database, it seems everything to be working. Let's connect to through the URL, through the in-memory URL with the data from source. We go here and just test the connection. Apply, okay. And what we see the database, we try, we open up, but see that we don't have nothing there. And the reason that we don't see nothing is because IntelliJ and other database managers aren't able to connect directly to in-memory databases. So yeah, just to show you, we can literally connect to anything. I mean, this takes everything up. And when I say anything, I literally say that it would swallow everything that we put through it. Quarkus doesn't have by default the H2 console. So to set it up and to check that the H2 database is being created, we have to follow these simple steps. We download our dependencies for the vertex and Quarkus underscore extensions and added them to the POM XML. Then we just simply create the deployment descriptor under the meta-infs side. We just copy paste this snippet code into the web XML file. We just simply now run the H2, run the application and go to H2 URL, and we see it here. Now we can connect directly through the URL that we have on the application properties and see that everything is working. As we have seen before, and that was the reason that I have just show you how to enable the H2 console. We cannot connect to private or public in-memory databases with a database manager. Instead, for that, we need to create an embedded database which logic differs with the other, because here we specify our database into a file over a path in the JDBC URL. This allows us to directly open the database file in the database manager app that we are using. So yeah, now what we have to do is to go here, change this men by file. Now it won't be a memory database anymore, it will be a file database. And we specify a path where we will store our database files. Yeah, we can create this data directory and copy the absolute path. And now what we have to do is to specify our database file name. That we can be simply database, or just to show you that this will work, I will put here your underscore database underscore name. Now, if we rerun the project, we will see that the database files have been created over this data directory. So yeah, we run, we reload, and here it is. Now that we have it here, let's connect it. Let's connect to it. So we go there, as we did before, data source from URL, and try to connect. Press OK, test the connection, and bam, we have this error here. What this error tells us is that maybe the database has been already in use, and there is another connection that is locking this file. So to fix that, we have to do the following. We enable the AutoServer property to true. This makes the first connection to the database in embedded mode, and additionally started the server internally. So with this, now we can connect through the file path. Now what we do is just to copy paste this AutoServer property true into the application properties, copy the path. But firstly, we need to rebuild the project, because this property wasn't before on the application file, on the application property file. So yeah, now we copy paste. Okay, I didn't copy, cancel, copy paste again, open from that. Okay, let me see if my retardation let me work. We open from the data source URL, copy paste, check that it's everything okay, and test the connection. Okay, things seems to be fine. Okay, we open it up, go to the schema, open the public, and see that our entity table is there. So now, as we are connecting here through directly on the IntelliJ, we can, I don't know, maybe just do a simple select query and see that it's working. Let's put it, as I told you, everything is working. So okay, fine. Okay, let's change in a moment this database name, just to simple database. Now let's discuss why the usage of an absolute path is a horrible idea in this kind of projects. Firstly, an absolute path is not scalable, and it's neither a quality code. It's not well programmed because, it's not really reproducible right out of the box for other developers, because obviously you have your own path to your own directory, to your own computer, but other developer will have its own. So yeah, the best way to approach this is to use it in a relative path way. In order to do the relative path approach, we know that Quarkus loads the project from its root. So instead of putting our current directory and root, we will just put the two dots in front of the source main resource folder. And once we load again the application, you will see, and we will see, that the folder will be created with the new database name, with the new database file name. I think I have to stop and reload again, and let's wait, and yeah, there it is. If we open now the data directory, we will see the database file that I have just told you. Okay, so now what we need to do just is being able to know where is the absolute path of that file, just to connect over the URL. So we follow these simple steps that I made it on the README. We copy paste the absolute path where is the document, the database file stored, and then we just copy it and put it in the URL. I will copy the URL here just to have it, and copy the full path. Just copy absolute path and put it right away. Now with this JDBC URL, we will be able, as we did before, to connect to the database over the source URL. So if we put it, copy paste, we check that everything is working, test the connection, apply, okay, and at the end what we will see is the same. We see the entity that we have created and the entity that we have inserted what element. So that's it for the video of today about how to implement the H2 database with Quarkus. I hope that you have enjoyed it and it has been helpful for your programming journey or new knowledge and experience. I will link this, this is my GitHub account. I will link it among other things on the description, on the video description, if you want to check it out. And also, finally, we'll like to take time to be thankful to everyone that has watched this video, and would like to just go ahead, please, and click that subscribe button if you haven't already, because there are more things planned. And just one more thing.
Hey, yo, what is up? 50 million likes. Can we hit it on this video? Danny DeVito, will you suck my dick? 50 million likes. Can we fucking do it? What is good? 50 million. Smash that like button. It's right down there. I know you've seen it. What are you, blind?